Away from Nigeria, according to Germany's Agency for Disease Control and Prevention, the Robert Koch Institute, the country has clearly begun a fourth wave of coronavirus infections. Positive samples among PCR tests shows a rise from 4% to 6% within a week until mid-August. Rising infection numbers come as the more contagious Delta variant becomes the dominant form of the virus, making up 99% of all cases in Germany. Meanwhile, schools are starting again in parts of Germany, while parents worry that the measures will not be enough to keep children safe and ensure that lessons can continue if cases surge again. How much precautions are they taking to prevent the spread? What are the plans for vaccinating kids? Well, Deutsche Welle correspondent Clifford Kuhnen is with us now from Berlin on the coronavirus situation in Germany. Hi, Clifford. Are there fears of a new wave of the pandemic in Germany, especially when schools open?
Well, Germany's Vaccination Commission, which is called the STIKO, has approved vaccination for all children and young people above the age of 12. This came after withholding approval for a very long time. Now, there's been a lot of back and forth about the schools and how to deal with the gradual reopening after the summer holidays. The health agency, the Robert Koch Institute, believes that the fourth wave of the pandemic has already begun. This is based on the rise in the number of positive PCR tests to 6% from 4%. It's mostly young people who are affected, and this has led to worries about what will happen as the schools return from the summer vacation. And there are also strict measures in place in schools. In large parts of the country, children have to wear masks at school and register whether or not they've been vaccinated. Another big factor here in Germany is widespread testing, and this is particularly obvious in the schools. Students are tested several times a week, and this is in sharp contrast to other parts of the EU where there's a lot less testing.
Like in other parts, vaccines for kids can be a controversial issue. We're seeing this in other countries like the US. Is there much opposition in Germany?
Well, yes, there is opposition, but the prevailing view here is that there's a need to do as much as possible to keep children and young people in schools after lockdown caused hardship for youngsters and upset learning processes. Health experts are concerned that the Delta variant is spreading so quickly among young people. The Vaccination Commission has examined data from the US where around 10 million children and young people have been vaccinated and decided that the advantages of being vaccinated far outweigh any possible, very rare side effects. Some high-profile figures have come out saying that vaccination for children is unnecessary or risky, but people have countered with arguments that the virus can have a very serious effect on children. Now, to speed up the vaccination process, there will be mobile vaccination teams visiting the schools to encourage more vaccinations. Some doctors have said that could lead to peer pressure on teens to get the jab, but other health experts say that's not a bad thing.
So infection rates are rising, vaccination rates stagnating. What measures are being taken to speed up the drive towards the goal of herd immunity?
Well, herd immunity is proving very difficult to attain. Here in Germany, the numbers of vaccinated people is stagnating. Right now, around 58.2% of the population is fully vaccinated, and the Robert Koch Institute is aiming for an 85% rate among people aged between 18 and 59, and a rate of 90% for those aged over 60. And they hope that this will contain the fourth coronavirus wave. Maybe Germany will do something similar to what they did in neighbouring France, where vaccinations jumped after President Emmanuel Macron unveiled a plan for citizens to have to show a health pass for many daily activities. Federal and state governments have been turning to increasingly creative ways to try and combat the country's faltering vaccination programme, such as turning vaccination centres into party areas and providing vaccinations at the airport. Chancellor Angela Merkel has repeated a call for unvaxxed people to get the jab. She said after months with too few jabs, now they have enough to vaccinate everybody, and people should do the right thing. The anti-vaccination lobby have made headlines in Germany, but a recent survey shows that only 10% of those still unvaccinated in Germany are completely against receiving a coronavirus vaccine out of principle. So maybe things will improve.
Many thanks, EW correspondent Clifford Kuhnen there with the latest.